Hey everyone, welcome to Next Gen AI Academy. So, in the last lecture, we discussed the introduction of generative AI, how Gen AI application works. Then we discussed the basics of large language models, and we also discussed few best in the industry large language models like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, etc. Right? And then we discussed the basic difference between foundational models and large language models. So in the today's lecture, predominantly we will be focusing on the market applications of generative AI, and then we will be moving towards the limitation of generative AI applications, right? Because we should know the limitations as well. This is a booming space now, right now, but still if we know the limitations out of it, we can quickly come out of it, right, at the same time. And then also we will be discussing about the career prospects which Gen AI space provides, right? So let's start with the application of generative AI, right? So first major application is AI chatbots and assistants, right? So you might have seen in a lot of application, in a lot of startup applications, you will be seeing AI based chatbots, right? So there's no human sitting in the back end and responding your queries, right? There is an AI chatbot, right? There is an AI based agent which is responding to all the queries which you have, right? Query response, right? So let me discuss in detail what AI chatbot means, right? So let's say you are using any application, right, which delivers the grocery, right, in 10 minutes, right? So you ordered something, let's say you ordered few things, right? You ordered vegetables, right, veggies, right, and you didn't get delivery, and you waited for at least 2 hours for this, right, and you didn't get any delivery. So what you do is you go to their assistant section, right, assistant section, and you type there that I did not receive my order, right? So the response you will be getting a response within few seconds via the AI agents and not any human sitting in the back end, right? And the AI agent will assist you that how you can get your order, or if your order cannot be deliverable to your address, then how you can get your refund at the same time, right? So it will give you further options out of it, right? So from your query to final response is being done by a AI assistant, or you can say AI agent, right? So this is one of the predominant application we have in the market of the generative AI space, right? AI space, right? And you might be seeing a lot of AI agents being used in the startup area right now. A lot of startups don't want to hire human beings to sit in the back end and resolve a query, because most of the queries might be silly and this shouldn't be resolvable by a human being, right? And some queries which definitely needs a human response will be delivered to human based agents, right? So that's how most of the companies are using these AI chatbots and assistants, right? Code generation is the second best application of generative AI. So you might have heard about GitHub Copilot, right? Copilot. So you will be seeing there that you just do text and they'll generate the code for you. So this is one of the LLM which code generation. So this is one of the LLM which generate code for you. So it's a specific application LLM which generate codes, right? And you will be seeing on Databricks, you will be seeing the similar AI agents on Cursor ID, PyCharm ID, right? These sort of AI agents can write code for you. You just need to put a text. Let's say you put a text that give me a Python code to add two numbers, right? So it will give you code, it will give you all the functions to do it, right, properly. So this is one of the predominant application of Gen AI based applications, right? Third is document summarization. You might have heard about Claude, right? Even ChatGPT can do it better now, right? So there is a lot of LLMs which do document summarization. What is document summarization actually is? So let's say you have a 20-page PDF, right? And you don't want to read the entire document, entire PDF, and you just want the summary out of it. You just upload that document or the PDF on that UI, and you'll get a summary in maybe in 10 lines or 5 lines. So you can understand the entire document properly. Right now on Google Gmail, right, you will see the summary of the mail on the top of the mails itself, right? So this is also one of the best Gen AI application there, where the AI agent is summarizing the entire mail for you, right? So yeah, this is about document summarization and AI tutor, right? So you might be seeing a lot of platforms are shifting from human based tutors to AI tutors, right? And these are personalized tutors. They used a single student data and provides personalized teaching to them, right? Let's say a student is good at chemistry but not in physics, so that AI tutor will send him or guide him how he can be better at physics, or how he can grasp complex concepts regarding classical physics, mechanical physics, etc., right? So AI tutors is also one of the example which is booming right now. Of course, it's in an experimentation phase, but very quickly it will be in the market for sure, right? So these are the major applications of generative AI. There are other applications as well, right? Like you can do AI based search systems you can use, right? You can do whole lot of things using Gen AI. You can build your own agents to deploy models. You can build your own AI agents to build UI of an application, right? There's a whole lot of things you can do, but that needs a lot of thinking about the product, and that needs a lot of backend as well, right? How you will deploy these models and how you will train these models so that these models can perform uh, best in the class level applications, right? So yeah, these are the predominant applications of generative AI. Now we will be discussing about the limitations of generative AI, right? So the major pain point of Gen AI based applications is hallucinations, right? So if you will see that on chat gpt, right, you sometimes don't get the response which the chat gpt is supposed to answer, right? So I was seeing one blog where a man asked chat gpt that what is the color of mango, and the chat gpt answer, the color of mango is red. But the human response is that he again texts that no, the mango's color is yellow, right? Then the chat gpt responded, okay, you are right, right, the mango's color is yellow, right? Then again the human responded, no, its color is green, right? Then again ChatGPT responded, yes, you are right, mango is green, right? So this is a very fair example of hallucinations where ChatGPT is very confidently giving wrong answers, right? So a lot of Gen AI based LLMs or a lot of foundational models hallucinates a lot of time, right? And this is a very like a vast pain point that majority of application developers, Gen AI application developers, are facing right now, and that needs to be resolved very quickly. And then second limitation of Gen AI applications are the data freshness issues, right? So these Gen AI LLMs, the large language models or foundational models, needs to train, right, on new data, fresh data as well, right? Let's say something happened today. There is an incident happened today, right? And if you're asked to chat GPT, the chat GPT might not able to answer it because in the training data the incident was not involved at all, right? So these model needs to train every single day, maybe every single month, every weekly basis. I don't know what's the actual frequency of training these models, but these model needs to train, right, frequently, so that it can understand the recent context as well, right? And since these models require frequent trainings, it occurs a lot of cost as well, right? Cost, there's a lot of high cost of these models. You might have seen that ChatGPT burns billions of dollars, right? Billions of dollars every month to train these models, or the GPUs they use to train these models, right? Third is sensitive to prompts, right? You might be seeing two different answers with some minute changes in the prompts. So prompts are nothing but the query you are giving to these LLMs, right? On ChatGPT, let's say you write, what is the addition of 5 plus 4, right? So it will give you an answer. So the prompt which you are giving is nothing but the query, right? What is the addition of 5 and 4? And the answer it's give, let's say it gave 9. So 9 is the response from the prompt, right? So it's very important that the prompt should be crisp, clear, so that the model can understand, right? And these LLMs, these foundational models are very sensitive towards prompts. If you do any minor changes in the prompts, your output can be entirely different, right? So there's a profile which is becoming popular nowadays is prompt engineering. So it's a skill which requires to be very profound in terms of giving right set of prompts to these large language models or foundational models, right? So yeah, this is one of the limitation. Fourth is no real understanding, right? So the chat gpt or any other large language models, whatever the outputs they are giving is just the prediction of the next word, right? It's nothing else. So in the backend the models don't have a real world understanding. It's just the probable output they are computing and giving us the response, right? So these models doesn't have a human like tendency to understand the world better, right? They're just probability based models which are predicting the next word coming out of the query, right? So these are the major limitations we will be able to see in the Gen AI based systems, Gen AI based applications, right? So now, since we have discussed about the application of generative AI, and then we discussed about the limitation of Gen AI, let's talk about the career prospects which are coming out of Gen AI world, right? So there can be a lot of profiles which will be coming out in the market, but predominantly I can think of three major profiles, right? AI scientist, or maybe you can call it Gen AI scientist, right? AI engineer, or you can call it machine learning engineer, and third is Gen AI application developers, right? So if I talk about AI scientist first of all, so these will be the folks who will create their own LLM, or maybe they use the pre-trained LLM and fine tune for a specific use case, right? Or maybe Gen AI scientist can take a simple architecture, let's say transformer based architecture, and they can train on some uh, data, right? Large data. And that they create their own LLM, right? So these AI scientists are the field where they'll create their own LLM, or they can use the pre-trained LLM and fine-tuned it, or maybe they use the simple architectures and train their own data on top of the basic LLM foundational models, right? So this is one of the profile which is booming in the industry right now. Second, which we can think of is AI engineer, right? AI engineer, or you can say ML engineer. So these folks make sure that whatever models which are being trained by these AI scientists, right, how the inferencing will be done, right? So model inferencing. So what is model inferencing, right? So there are two parts, model training and then model inferencing, right? So model training is being done on the historical data. Now you will try these models on the real world data or on app live data, right? So that is called model inferencing, where you test your model on the new data, right? So while doing model inferencing, there's a lot of steps where you need to deploy the model, you need to set up the feature store pipelines, you need to set up a lot of APIs built on top of it to make sure that whatever model requires in terms of data, in terms of integrations, will be there, right? And these all pipelines, all setups will be done by these AI engineers, right? And in some startups or some companies, you will be seeing that even the job of AI scientist is also being done by AI engineer, right? So they are also training the models, right? Or if they are using any pre-trained LLM APIs, so the deployment will be taken care by these AI engineers, right? Engineers. So the model inferencing side of it, feature stored side of things, right? Model deployment side of things, everything will be handled by these AI engineers. And the third profile is Gen AI application developer. Right? So these are the, you can call it SD of Gen AI as well, right? Software development engineering in Gen AI. So these are the folks who will use the deployed API by the AI engineers, right? So let's say the data scientist has trained some LLM, right? These LLM will be deployed and inferenced by the AI engineer, right? And the final API they built, this API can be used in the UI by the SDEs, right? And the final response can be seen by the user, right? So it's like a combination of three different profiles, from model training to final model serving, model output serving to the end users, right? So if I'll talk about the entire profile diagram, right? So these are the model side of things which delivered by AI scientists, right? Or you can say Gen AI scientist, right? So there will be some common things between AI scientist and AI engineer, right? Because in some companies, AI engineers are also doing model trainings of the pre-trained LLM, or maybe they fine-tuned the pre-trained foundational models, right? There will be few common things which will be in AI engineers and AI application developers, right? Developer, right? Or you can call it Gen AI application developer, right? So there will be few common things between AI scientist and AI engineer, and there will be few common things like model deployment or API integration sort of things, which can be handled by AI engineers as well, and the AI application developers as well, which are basically the SDEs, right? SDE in Gen AI domain. So predominantly the applications which are out of AI scopes have a different scope of tech stack, right? But the SDEs who work in Gen AI domain on in machine learning engineering, they have a different tech stacks, right? So that's why this is one of the profile which is booming right now in the industry. So the profile of AI engineer is one of the prominent profile which is creating a huge impact when the Gen AI came into the picture, right? So there's a lot of profile may come in the near future as well, but these are the predominant profile which we can target if anybody wants to work in the field of AI or Gen AI, right? So this is for it today. We'll be discussing a lot of things about Gen AI in the next video. Yeah, take care. Have a good day. Bye.